There's no single explanation for them, but they keep happening all across the world. Loud booms that rock entire neighborhoods and mysterious trumpet sounds echoing through our cities and countrysides, like giant metallic rumble. And not everyone hears them. Let's explore. Hi everyone, and welcome to Project Bluebook, where we explore all things unidentified. I am Thor, and thanks for tuning in. The mysterious earth sounds remain intriguing as they are frustrating. There is no real progress in solving this mystery year after year, even as data continues to mount, even as logical explanations are offered to explain many of them. There are still no satisfying conclusions. When you dive into this unexplained phenomena, you realize it is not a single thing. It's a multitude of different sounds, heard randomly all over the world. Some repeat, others don't. Some appear to come from within city neighborhoods. Others appear to come from the heavens, or from the deep, within the earth itself. Some sound like loud explosions, others are painful to our ears, like two giant metal pieces scratching at each other. Then there are the melodic trumpet sounds.
Where's it coming from? What? I've never heard it like it. I've never heard it like this before.
What they have in common is no one can point to their source. There's never a conclusive explanation. Everyone remains mystified: the police, city hall, the military, and local industrial operators, port authorities, and mining companies. No one has ever come forward to own these sounds, ever. So be prepared to know more, but if your satisfaction depends on a conclusion, no matter how outlandish it may be, you're not going to get it. So let's strap in and listen to some. This has been going on for centuries, by the way, so it's not solely explainable by human industrial activity or the results of heavy machinery, man-made explosives, or equipment like fighter jets. Because over Queensland, South Africa in 1883, ash-like substance was seen falling from the sky at the same time as a very loud explosion was heard in the heavens. In 1906, document describes loud booms like giant pieces of metal slamming into each other. They were associated with a foreshock before the San Francisco earthquake that same year. Yet, similar sounds were heard and documented in Charleston, South Carolina in the 1880s without any affiliated earthquakes. For decades, so-called Seneca guns rattled residents of North Carolina Outer Banks as well as New York's Catskill Mountains near Lake Seneca. Greenland has its deep foghorn noises called Thunder Dove Bay. Bay of Bengal has its Banzal guns, and Japan has booms known as Yan. Italy calls them Bronditi, and Belgium has its own mist puffers. They're all describing the same noise.
I heard one and it rattled the walls of our house. I felt it in my body and my chest. It was so low, it sounded like it was coming from underground.
You can feel it. Yeah!
The frequency of documented events grew fast in the 1970s, as growing media interest resulted in more than 600 reports. Some of the first audio recordings of the phenomena are from that time. There was even a wave of sound booms in Southern California in the 1990s. More recently, since 2010, the numbers have skyrocketed. Why, you may ask? Smartphones, home security cameras, social media, which simply means it's not the frequency of the events that has increased, it's our ability to catch them that has improved dramatically, including the ability to live record, compare, and share. It is the reason for thousands of recorded boom events over the last decade globally. While this is a real phenomena and an eerie mystery, isolated sounds have explanations, and it's important to separate explainable sounds from the unexplained explosions and grinding sounds, like zone guns used by berry farmers to scare off birds in Oregon, California, and elsewhere. They use them when the berries are ripening to safeguard their crop, and when situated in a valley or close to a mountainside, a huge echo reverberates. U.S. Geological Survey suggests shallow earthquakes produce rumble that can be heard from miles and gets amplified depending on the landscape. It's typically associated with earthquakes. It's true, but true also, actual earthquake reports are rarely associated with actual boom reports. Since the 60s and 70s, there are sonic booms. FAA and the Pentagon explain it's not just fighter jets that produce it, but also the Concorde while it was flying, producing more frequent sonic booms than at any time before in human history. The Pentagon has given more interesting and obscure explanations, like that of a very low-frequency sound transmissions between airplanes and submarines that under certain conditions produce echoes. NOAA has suggested upper atmosphere weather phenomena, cryostorms as a cause, while NASA, as well as the American Meteorological Society, point to meteorites penetrating or ricocheting of Earth's atmosphere as an explanation. And it is true. This happens, like in Russia in 2013. But more often, they're not booms at all. They're more like painful to the ear grinding sounds coming from the skies above or deep within the earth. Like this one heard in Kiev, Ukraine, long before the war. Caltech has looked at it, Massachusetts Institute of Technology has looked at it, NASA has researched it, and a Washington State University psychology study suggested the noise emanated from what researcher Brian Sharpless calls a momentary neural hiccup as the brain transitions into sleep mode. In his words, it happens when auditory neurons fire indiscriminately instead of shutting down. This thing even has a name. It's called the exploding head syndrome. Nope, I'm not making it up. I point to this as evidence of how science, and don't get me wrong, kudos to our science for all the advances we can thank it for, but here the explanation is forced and just doesn't hold up across the board. Not saying it doesn't exist, but it doesn't explain the phenomena, because many people in the same neighborhood can't be all having simultaneous neurological breakdown of the exploding head syndrome variety while their security cameras are recording it. Sometimes science can just say, We don't know, but I accept the explanation as a contribution to the dialogue, just like I accept the sonic boom theory. They explain some, but not all. And frankly, most of the sounds are not booms at all, but this penetrating, persistent, metallic howling.
Like, it's coming straight out of the sky. What is that?
One of the strangest things about these sounds is the fact that some people hear them while others don't. A husband and wife can have a completely different experience of what happened when their house shook. To him it was a small earthquake. To her, it was a giant boom sound that shook the house, as if two freight trains had crashed into each other in the sky. Sky quakes.
You alright?
Hey!
What happened?
I don't know.
The city of Alhambra, California, after 120 complaints from residents over a few months, set up a reporting hotline for the loud booms. A researcher drew a map after gathering dozens of reports in New Orleans in 2017, pinpointing the epicenter of the sound's origins at the canal near Lake Borgne, Shirts Barrier. The most creative explanation involved hypotheses ranging from religion, quoting the 7 trumpets of the apocalypse, which would mean the end is near, only it's been happening for centuries, while others suggest the Earth's mantle is moving differently, causing tensions within the Earth, possibly precursor to a polar shift caused by the flipping of the magnetic field. And some have point-blank suggested these are inner Earth construction sounds, operating on the notion that the Earth is hollow and a whole other civilization lives within. We have no proof of that. But like I said on top of the program, there is neither a single explanation that satisfies the whole lot, nor is there a complete lack of explanations either. What we have is a laundry list of partial explanations that collectively check off some of the boxes on our list, but others remain unexplained to this day. And there's no way I'll go on record stating there's a single thread of evidence connecting these sounds to unexplained aerial phenomena, UFOs or aliens. And I looked into the possibility of UFO sightings associated with the sounds. I haven't found any association at all. It remains a mystery that to me is as intriguing as it is strangely frustrating. You can watch and listen to this and other podcasts on Project Bluebook, where we explore all things unidentified. Each day, let's practice compassion and kindness, and please subscribe. I am Thor, and thanks for listening. See you next time.